Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your Unity game build and put it on your Steam Deck. And I've got a little demo here for you just to show you that it is working as intended. Okay, so first things first, we're going to need to make a build. Now, because SteamOS uses Linux, we're going to need to make a Linux build. And as you can see, I've already got the option here. However, if you don't, we're going to add that option to our Unity version. I've already got Linux in here. Now, normally you just go into Unity Hub and download the modules that you need. In this case, I'm going to grab both Linux modules. However, you may run into the same issue that I had, which is they download and they look like they're going to install, but then you get a validation failed error. The solution for this is actually fairly simple. Instead of using Unity Hub, what we're going to do is go and look for the modules manually on the Unity download archive. You might imagine that it would be on the front page. Scrolling down to Unity 2021.3.12 F1, you might think that it would be in one of these lists, but you'd be dead wrong. Instead, we're actually going to go back up to the top of the screen and go to the long-term support releases page. In here, fortunately, we have the option to modify our selection to 2021.3 and then scroll down. And my specific version that I'm looking for is at the bottom of the second page at the time of recording. And now we can see that all of the modules that we want to download are in here. So I'm going to grab both the IL2 CPP module and the Mono module. And once we've got the modules that we need, it's simply a case of following the install wizard that comes with it. Once you've installed either one or both of the modules that we need for this particular case, being the Linux modules, we are ready to go. I've already installed them, so we should find that if you hop back into Unity, you can now choose Linux. Now we're going to install the Steam Dev Kit on our PC or laptop following this documentation from Valve. So there's a direct install link to their Steam Dev Kit for the client version. And then we will have to do the same thing and install the server version on our Steam Deck. So this is our Steam Deck in desktop mode. We're going to go to the same link and use the same direct install link while in desktop mode. And as you can see, it opens up our Steam client and we're just going to hit install. Now, once that's done installing, just make sure that the service is launched. And we now need to go back into gaming mode. Go to our settings, system, and just make sure that developer mode is enabled. We should now be able to go down to the very bottom and we should be able to pair new host. Now, once we are running the client on our PC, we can pair a host using these instructions. And by host, it simply means the Steam Deck that we are going to be putting our game on. So we're going to launch our client and we get this GUI pop-up. Now, once you've paired your Steam Dev Kit, you should see this prompt. If we go to title upload, we can then fill in the data that's required. The only things that are required are the name and the file that you're going to be uploading or folder. In this case, I've already saved a configuration, but it's as simple as that, and then clicking upload. Now, just to show you where I'm going from in my Unity build, I'm literally just taking everything that's in this folder. So once I've got the correct path and the correct name that I want, we're just going to hit upload. In a moment, it's going to show us an error message that is just to tell us that it doesn't know how to launch the game automatically. But we don't actually want to launch it automatically for a couple of good reasons. One, if you haven't built an exit game function into your game, you will never be able to leave it in desktop mode. And number two, if you don't have built-in controller support for your game, you may not be able to play it at all. So instead of launching it in desktop mode, what we're actually going to do is open up the Steam client and add it as a non-Steam game. This means that we can go back into gaming mode in our deck and we will actually be able to play it in gaming mode. And when searching for our game, we need to remove the file type as it won't match any of the ones in there. We simply navigate to the folder that it was put in and we grab this x86_64 file here and click add program. Now when we go back to gaming mode, we should see our game in the list in the library. And we can see it right here. I can go to its page, click play, and we'll see that familiar logo. As I mentioned before, the advantage is currently we can play this kaboom. But also we can go and change the controller settings if needed, as well as the handy exit game button down the bottom there. Now we can change a few quick settings underneath. But if we wanted to, we could also use some of these pre-generated layouts. Some of them I've grabbed from EmuDeck. I'll leave a link in the description for the Valve documentation and the Unity download archive. But other than that, I hope you enjoy making some games and putting them on your Steam Deck.